This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it.
Disclaimer. This video was intended for an adult audience only. Viewer discretion is advised. Anything you see in this video, do not attempt to recreate. This video was created for documentation purposes only. Our purpose is education. We are not justifying or glamorizing using substances. What we are doing is educating people on the substances that we have used and what it has done for us. Do not recreate or do not redo the substances we have done just because we talk about it.
Life. A four-letter word, so simple, yet so complex. Life is a lot more complicated than we realize. Life is it's literally the simplest thing to spell, right? Life, 4 letters, but it's so complicated. There's so much complex things inside of life itself. Because inside of life, what is life? Is life breathing? That doesn't mean that you're living, just because you're breathing. But I think that living life should be about living. But most people live life and they don't even understand what it means to be living. They think that working a job and paying the bills and making sure you're good in that aspect, they think that's life. That's a very small aspect of life. You know, they think learning and growing and, I mean, these are small aspects of life, but together this is what makes life. Humans as a whole, we're lost. As a whole, we are lost. We don't understand life. We think that life is about making money, man. It's not about making money. So many people there's rich guys that kill themselves. It's not about making money. It's not about being content. It's not about, it's not even about chasing your dreams either, because that's what I do in my life, right? What I do in my life is I chase my dreams. I go for it even though it's so risky. I'm chasing things that literally could ruin my life. But I'm also chasing things that could change my life for the better. And it's like I'm taking risks in my life. But that doesn't mean necessarily, that doesn't define life, you know what I mean? It's like life is so complex because I can get down to explaining spirituality. I can get down to explaining science. We can explain some math right now. Let me talk about quantum physics and quantum mechanics. Let me talk about, calculus. Let me talk about some of these things that are life, that we call life, that we don't really understand. Because yes, these are all parts of life, but it's not life on itself. Life is all. Life is complex. I don't know, just thinking about it, it's like life is always more complicated than we realize, but we try to simplify things. But that's also the same thing. It's both ways. Life is simplistic and life is complex. But life is a fucking paradox as well. When you start to understand life, you start to realize that life contradicts itself. You know, it's like with the psychedelic knowledge, for example, they say you got to kill the ego, and I disagree. You know, I think you got to tame the ego. But it's like life is a paradox. It's not about getting rid of evil or getting rid of darkness. It's about balancing it with yin and yang, because that's why life is a paradox, because yin and yang, light and dark. It's not one or the other, it is both. Life is not just your good moments, life is the bad moments as well. Life is also the moments that you want to fucking scream. Life is also the moments that you want to scream in joy and you want to scream in anger. It's all life. It's all life. We just got to learn to enjoy all of it. I think the issue is that, we try to define something that's undefinable. That's what this video is based off of, really, realistically. I'm sitting here trying to explain life in many different ways and many different things I'm trying to say to explain it and get it out. One, it's not coming out the way I wanted it to. That's fine. But two, I'm realizing that as I'm trying to explain this, it's not going to come out the way I want it to, because there's no way to explain life. It seems like it's simple, but it's really not. It's a lot more complicated than we realize, but it's a lot more simple than we realize. We have to just be. That's it. Just be. Be yourself. Be you. Live the life that you want to live. Don't live the life of others. I just think that we have to stop putting things in a box. We always try to label things. You try to label it as this or that, black or white, left or right. We label human existence as life, but human existence is only one small part of life, because after this human existence, there's other dimensions that we will travel to, and are those other dimensions life as well? But we call those other dimensions death. Death is life and life is death. It is a paradox. Life is more complex than we will ever imagine, which is why it's better off to just be in it, to just be. You know, instead of trying to define everything, instead of trying to label everything. Like, that's why I don't label myself in politics. I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm nothing. I'm me, right? I don't label myself. I used to label myself as I used to say I'm a shaman, or a modern day shaman. And like, I've even tried to stay away from that, because it's like, I don't want to label myself as something, because if I am that something, then I have to be what that something, and that something is always usually put in a box. Life is put in a box. Everything is put in a box. And let me tell you that the life that people think is life, it's most likely not. It's most likely the trap of life. Life is complex. Life is beauty. Life is love. Life is everything. You know? Life is raising kids. Life is everything, man. Everything. So, instead of sitting here saying, I don't know what to do with my life. You know, so many people say, I don't know what to do with life. You know, I have no clue what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. Just live. Just live. Do your thing. Do what you do best. Do what you do best, and then do things you don't do best, so you can get good at those things, so you can just do a bunch of shit. Do life. Live. Experience. Feel. Feel sad. Feel happy. Life is all. Learn to enjoy it all. And then, when you take it in, when you take all of it in, you can understand that it is all life. Every aspect, every part. It's the same concept where it's like life is the oneness, man. Life is all. Life is one. Life is existence. Life is all the dimensions, from the first dimension all the way layered up to the 13th dimension. All of that, including the light dimension, the light beings in DMT space, and all these human beings that are driving in their cars, and all these stores that I'm passing, houses, trees, birds that I hear, the plants that I see, the grass that I'm walking on. Like, all of it is life. So let's just live, guys. Let's just live.